friends, it's Ivy here, and today I have my birth story. I had a natural and spontaneous labor and delivery, and it was a 5-hour labor. I do have a lot of footage of me in labor, like on the night, but once I went to the hospital, we just completely forgot to film a lot of things. There are like little clips here and there that I posted on my TikTok, but again, I think I'll just like jump in every now and then to like explain the story. So I will just let future me from the 14th of August explain to you guys everything that I was going through in the moment. Hello, it is the 14th of August and it is 4:43 a.m. I am most definitely in labor, I believe. I guess while I can still talk and everything, I'll talk you guys through how everything has been going so far. My husband is just having a shower. Tonight, I went to the movies with my friends. We went to watch It Ends With Us. This was on the 13th of August. So I got home around 10:30 last night and I just talked to my husband, got unready for bed. I was in bed by 11. And then I don't think I fell asleep till like midnight-ish. At 1:30, my husband was still up in bed, like next to me. Like I just felt 2 big gushes like rush out of me. And I was like, oh, that was very interesting. It didn't feel like mucus was rushing out of me like how I normally felt. And then I was like, oh, these were like big gushes. So I went to the toilet. Like it just looked clear. There was no mucus or anything like that. I was like, okay, this is interesting. I am just going to like sit here on the toilet because things were just dripping. Things were just like going and I wasn't even peeing. It was a very, very slow trickle. I couldn't tell if this was my water breaking or not. I was, okay, wait, a contraction's coming, 1 second. That one wasn't that intense. That was like around 1:30 and then I sat on the toilet for like maybe 10 minutes just waiting for things to trickle out. There wasn't a lot that came out. I put on a pad and then I stood up and things were coming and I was like, okay, I think I need something heavier than a pad. So I have these adult diapers that I bought. I got my husband to go grab me one and I just put that on. I literally laid in bed and I tried so hard to fall asleep. I was like, okay, if this is labor, like I just want to get as much rest as possible. I didn't even started contracting or anything at that point. This was like by 2 a.m. I hadn't had any contractions and then like maybe half an hour into laying there, more water started trickling out. I definitely felt like a lot more water like trickle out and I was like, I'm like pretty sure this is my water now. Like this is like definitely not pee. This is definitely more than mucus. Pretty sure this is my water. And then at some point as I was laying there and it was trickling out, I felt a pop inside me, like something popped. My baby was like moving around a lot inside me and like putting a lot of pressure down there and I felt a pop and I was like, oh, okay, that was really interesting. I never felt anything like that in my life before. And then contractions started coming on. They were like very inconsistent, like maybe like pretty far apart too, like 10 to 12 minutes apart. And I was just like, okay, like they're definitely contractions. Like after about 5, I was like, these are definitely contractions. Maybe I should download an app and then like start timing them just to see how they're going. I literally started timing them. Okay, here's that one. Oh, these are coming pretty quick. Ow. They're coming pretty close now. 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And I feel a lot of pressure in my butt.
Huh?
I'm feeling quite a bit of pressure in my butt.
Okay. 2 minutes apart, that is.
I know. Maybe we should call the hospital now.
I was thinking that. Yeah, just let me know. I'll call him back then.
Okay. Is he moving further? I can't tell.
He's still high up, for sure.
That's what I was thinking.
He's still way high up. Has he been moving?
I haven't really felt a whole lot, but I definitely felt something like 5 minutes ago, like a little bump here. I think maybe we should call them.
Just let them know, hey.
Maybe just wait like another 10 minutes. I just want to finish my story.
Oh, okay.
My husband was still sleeping next to me. I was just playing worship music at this point, and then I started timing my contractions. I was timing them for about half an hour, and they were looking like, they were a bit inconsistent. They were like 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 3 minutes. So like they were kind of like all over the place. It was really, really intense laying down. I felt like a little bit overwhelmed, to be honest. I was like, dang, like these are only the very beginning. Like I'm pretty sure this is very early labor, and this is pretty intense already. I hope like I'll be okay, because I don't know if I've told you guys I plan on doing an unmedicated video. So I'm hoping that I can like actually do that. Literally though, like it was so painful laying down, and so after a while I was gonna get up at 4:30, but by 4 o'clock I was like, you know what, I think it might just be more manageable. I think another one's coming soon. I'm just gonna stand. I was like, I think it'll just be a lot more manageable if it'll be a lot more manageable if I just stand up and move around. And I was right. Like I got up and they're a lot less intense for sure. And I was just trying to distract myself, just trying to like pack everything that I needed. I was packing snacks, just got into like my labor clothes, this, and I have this, so for when I get in the bath, I wanted to charge my camera, which I was doing, and like take all the footage off it so I can film this labor vlog. And then I just had a banana and filled my water bottle, trying to drink as much water and like have snacks as I can. They said it's really good to like eat and drink throughout labor. It gives you energy. But oh my gosh, another thing, it was definitely my water breaking, because when I got up, I felt the biggest gush. Like literally everything just flowed on right out. Like everything just came out so quickly. More water keeps flowing out every time I stand up. More water keeps flowing out. This is just like the craziest experience ever so far. Like I can't even begin to describe it. But yeah, I'm really just trying to keep active this whole time, like really just trying to move and trying to get baby down and out. I think we should call the hospital, just let them know. So. They are getting a bit more intense. Every time I have a contraction, I feel it in my butt, like pressure down my butt.
I think that's normal, that you're gonna feel pressure down your butt like that, but...
I know, but I'm just saying I feel like they're building in intensity.
Hello, this is Sweet Midwife speaking.
Let's do this.
So basically after my water broke at 1:30 and then laboring at home till like around 5 a.m, close to 5 a.m, I made my way to the hospital. I was really nervous for the car ride there. That was the thing I was most nervous for, surprisingly. I was worried that like I'd be really stressed in the car, or like my labor was gonna stall or something, or just like contractions would keep coming hard and fast and I wouldn't be able to feel comfortable sitting in the car, because when I was contracting, I literally did not want to sit down. I felt like I needed to be moving, and it just felt so uncomfortable to be sitting down. But like I was sitting in the back seat of the car, I just had my head leaned back and I was just listening to the worship music that was playing in the car. I was doing my breathing exercises, and I think because it was really dark and the car was moving and everything, I felt very relaxed in the car. My contractions slowed down from every 3 to 4 minutes to every 6 to 7 minutes when I was in the car, and then kind of sped back up when I got back to the hospital. It was like honestly the best outcome I could have expected. I remember getting to the hospital at like maybe 5:30ish. They saw that I was having contractions inside the actual like check-in phase. It wasn't really a check-in, they just looked at me, they saw me having contractions, and then they're like, okay, like we got a room ready for you, let's go. And I was like, okay, cool. And so they took me to the room. I thought they were gonna examine me or something like that, but they kind of just let things unfold. The craziest thing happened, like as soon as I hit the hospital, the contractions started going wild. I can't even remember the terminology that you would use anymore. Like you went from like early labor to active labor, then transition or something. I'm pretty sure I went straight into active labor as soon as I hit the hospital because the contractions were like really tough. By that point I started groaning, and that's something that women do, or like I can't remember if I did it purposefully, where you kind of like you try not to scream because or like yell because that obviously stresses you out. I was kind of making these noises. I was like oh like the whole time. I don't know why, but that's just like what my body wanted to do. Throughout this point I was coping really well, and I felt like I was doing really well. I was just doing my breathing exercises, and I know a lot of women say like, oh, breathing doesn't help, like it's literally nothing. Honestly, the breathing helped me so much. If you're trying to do an unmedicated labor, literally focus on the breathing exercises. I've been doing them since day one of like first trimester of my pregnancy and everything. It's literally in for 4, out for 6, and I would breathe out through my mouth. Some people say you're supposed to breathe through your nose, but I did it out through my mouth. When you're doing those, you gotta have like mindfulness when you do it, like really just keep in a state of calm and relaxedness. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid of the contraction. And that's the thing that I think that I felt like I did really well in this labor, if I'm being honest. Like I was genuinely like, God, I surrender this wholly and completely to you. And every time a contraction came, I just relaxed and eased into it, tried to melt into it, let my body like literally do what it needed to do. When women used to say like, when you're in labor, you literally just have to let your body do what it needs to do, and you just need to get out of the way. I never understood what that meant until you're actually in it. Like you just need your mind to let go and like not be part of it, if that makes sense. Like not overthink it. Do not let the like normal human instinct of you take over. You kind of have to let this like animalistic primal part of you take over. That sounds really weird to say, but it literally is just like a physical thing. You can't let your mind get in the way of it and let all your fears and stuff get in the way of it. I remember requesting to be in the bath. I remember saying I really wanted to labor in the bathtub, but they told me because my waters had already broke and because I was 36 weeks and 6 days, they don't actually let anyone before 37 weeks get into the bathtub because it's a bit dangerous for a premature baby. And I was really upset because I was like unsure if I wanted a water birth. I definitely know I wanted to labor in the tub. I wasn't sure if I wanted to push in the water and like have the baby in the water. I wanted to be able to have that decision to make in the moment, but I couldn't do it. So next best thing, like I hopped in the shower, and the shower was a godsend. I feel like if I had a baby again, like I would definitely choose the shower over the bathtub. Oh, my son is just eating his feet. I would definitely choose the shower again. The shower was so good. It was like very high pressure, and it was hitting me in all the parts that were like really needed, like the back, my belly. I would turn around sometimes. They gave me a chair in there for support, and I'm pretty sure I couldn't sit down. It was just really uncomfortable. At some point I did, but for the most part I was standing up with one knee on it, and I just really needed something to lean on as the shower like water kept coming and coming. So the midwife in there, she basically just like, she said hi to me, she said her name, she saw that my contractions were getting crazy, she led me to the shower, and she just sat there and watched me. She didn't even really, well, she did ask me questions. She's like, not exactly like how are you feeling, because obviously she could see. It was just amazing. She was just very like really trying to do everything very intuitively, just watching how I was going through my breathing and everything, and she just kept reassuring me, being like, you're doing so well, like you're doing really good, keep going. And she would just watch my body based off the signs and the sounds that I was making to see how fast my labor was progressing. And then she told me that because I was 36 weeks and 6 days, I should like take some antibiotics for the baby. And she was like saying like, we need to administer a drip in you. It's gonna take about 2 hours for it to get into your system to get into the baby. She kept asking me like, is that something you want to do? Is that okay with you? My feeling at this point was that I wasn't gonna make it for another 2 hours. I genuinely felt like, I was like, baby is coming so soon. I felt like by the time I hopped in the shower and everything, it really did feel like I had the urge to push. The urge to push kept getting stronger and stronger, and I think that's, bless you, I think that's what made me feel like the contractions were like getting stronger. It wasn't necessarily the contractions, it was just like the urge to push was getting stronger and stronger. There was so much more pressure in my butt down there. I really felt like I wasn't gonna make another 2 hours. So I told her that. I was like, I don't think there's any point in administering the antibiotics. I think the baby's gonna come sooner than that. So she let me stay in the shower for a while. It just kept getting so much more intense, and then eventually at some point, I think it was like maybe 40 minutes later, she was like, you should probably leave the shower, like I think it's time soon, or I can't remember what she said. She said you should just leave the shower, let's try to get you on the bed, bless you, for pushing. And I was like, no, like I'm not leaving this shower, this is amazing, I'm not leaving. And she goes, okay, if you feel comfortable here, like we'll keep going. And then another 5 minutes passed. I'm pretty sure at some point the nurses switched shifts, so I wasn't with my original nurse. Somebody else had come, they did a handover, she's like introducing herself while I'm like in the middle of these like contractions. It's like, hey, I'm Ivy, yeah, going through it right now. So that other lady left, and she was just so lovely. She just left saying, you're doing so good, like keep going, keep pushing, you're doing amazing, I'm so sorry I have to leave. And she was just so lovely. I really like the whole team at the hospital was just so amazing. My new midwife came, and yeah, she was like, okay, she didn't really give me a choice. She was just like, okay, you're getting out of the shower. It wasn't even like, do you want to? It was just, you're getting out of the shower. I was like, oh, okay, sure. And then she got me up on the bed. They put like a little towel down because obviously I was kind of wet. I didn't really like have time to dry off. Like I said, the contractions were getting really strong, but the thing, like it didn't hurt. I don't know how to describe it. It wasn't painful to me, it was just incredibly uncomfortable. It was just like the biggest weight sitting on my butt, and like my down there area is how I would describe labor. And the more closer he got to like time to push, it genuinely felt like he was just getting like, there was just more and more pressure down there. Are you okay, bub? You're a silly goose. I literally rolled onto his stomach and just lay there like this for like a solid minute. By the time I got onto the bed, I think that's when they decided it was time to check my dilation. They never checked me before that. They didn't check me before administering me. I think it might be because I never asked for the epidural. They didn't really need to see how far along I was. And then it's just like the weirdest feeling. The midwife just goes for it, and I was like, okay, whoa, sure. I feel like a lot of women actually say that it's pretty painful when you get the dilation check, but I think because I was like at 10 centimeters and like in the midst of all of it, it didn't really feel like anything really. She didn't even say you're at 10 centimeters, she just said, okay, we're ready to go, time to start pushing. And I was like, okay, sure. I feel like it didn't hit me like how crazy the pushing was gonna be until this moment. The whole time I was just really scared of labor and everything that was gonna happen in labor. And then when it came time to pushing, that's when I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to push a whole baby out. But at that point I was like really tired, really exhausted, and I was like, I just really want to meet my baby already. Like I'm just so excited. So I was very excited to push and kind of get it over with. I did end up pushing for about 40 minutes. I tried a lot of different positions. The one position I really didn't want to try was being on my back, but that's actually how I eventually did give birth. I honestly felt a lot more comfortable. As much as I was like really against pushing my back initially, it felt really comfortable for me to push and exert all the effort into it and then just be able to like lie down in between. I started pushing on contractions. It was really hard. It was honestly really tough, this part. It was hard because he kept coming out and then he would just go back in. So I'd push and like work so hard, and his little head would come out, and then because I guess I wouldn't hold it there, like his little head would just come back in, and it felt like every time I was making like just a little bit of a progress, like he would just retreat back, and that was just so frustrating. So at some point they were like, maybe like 20 minutes into pushing, they were like, push and hold the baby there. And I was like, you are kidding me right now, like that sounds so painful. But I did it and it was good. My husband was like incredibly encouraging. He saw everything, which is not exactly like ideally what you want your partner to be seeing, but I mean like he saw everything, and he was just so lovely. Like he just kept encouraging me, saying I was doing really well, and he kind of kept telling me what to do, what is working, what's not working and stuff. And honestly, it was, while the midwives were really good, it was his words that I just clearly remember in that delivery room that were guiding me and everything. I think it was just really special. It was just a crazy moment for us both. Honestly, the ring of fire really did hurt. I did not really think so much about it before giving birth, but it did actually hurt. But I think it was like a momentary lapse of pain where it was just like, it really hurt for about 2 to 3 minutes. And it kind of, for me, when I started feeling the ring of fire, I kind of felt a little bit more motivated to keep going. So as I kept pushing, then obviously after the baby's head was crowning, it stopped hurting as much as it did. And so I kind of used that pain as motivator to keep going. The last contraction, just before I pushed him out, I pushed and I held him there. His head was just there. And then I didn't hear them. I actually didn't hear them say, okay, stop. We'll push his whole body out in the last contraction. I just kept pushing and pushing. And at the very last bit of the contraction, he just shot right out. My husband was like, he slid right out. And then I ended up having a 2nd-degree superficial tear. It actually wasn't too bad. I was pretty happy with that, but they said I literally wasn't tearing at that point until I like fully pushed him out and he just shot right out. And then we got to meet our little Artino, 8:13 in the morning. Then they took him away to get the antibiotics administered, which I didn't get a chance to do because he came so quick. I went and got stitched up and we walked to my room. I think the craziest thing to me after all that was how quickly I had to, like, I got to eat, I got to have a shower and everything. Straight after giving birth, they just push your uterus down to really like make it go lower, get all the blood out and everything. Right after all that, then maybe like an hour after giving birth, they let me walk to my hospital room. I think it was just wild that like how crazy I was up on my feet, like that they'd asked me to do all these things. If you guys have any questions about spontaneous or unmedicated labors or anything like that, like let me know, comment them down below and I'll answer them. Should I film your baby? A literal angel. A literal angel. Another angel. My 2nd angel, he's so good. Hey.
Well, that called me there.
Hey guys. Oh yeah, you close your eyes. I'm just gonna update the camera here. Hey guys. I've given birth. It is 6 p.m. I gave birth at 8 a.m. this morning. I guess this will be in like the labor and footage vlog, but this is just me. Oh my gosh, it's so out of focus. This is me post-birth. This is how my stomach's looking right now. I literally look like I'm 20 weeks pregnant again. Little baby's here. We're doing very well. I'm sore down there near my butt, but that's okay. I just had an 1.5-hour nap, so I feel pretty good. What else was I gonna say? Oh, I've just been farting a lot. So yeah, that's postpartum for you. Anyways, just thought I'd update you guys on this vlog. I made it to the other side. Bye.